So I think I have to leave you with something entertaining for going off to bed. And it struck me that the problem with the police raid on the house in Leeds is that the girl said the wrong thing. If she'd used the F bomb and told the police to F off back to France, then that would have been okay. That is now a legitimate expression, though the police might have argued that it was a little, quote, salty, but perfectly legitimate. That is now one of the things we can say to the police. Indeed, we can say it to anybody, apparently. I tend to disagree. I think if somebody were to use that in my classroom, I would be a little shocked. But certainly, I suppose you can use it in parliamentary debate, and it has been legitimised by the deputy of the Conservative Party and then aped by a leading member of the Labour Party, by Diane Abbott, although she removed her Twitter feed. So, language. It's the particular language that people use that is presumably offensive. I don't quite understand why somebody should take offence at being called a lesbian. But, that probably means, I think altogether, the police force in Yorkshire needs to do some serious retraining. And one or two of you put out some very interesting comments, listening to the things which were said in that recording. It is simply shocking. And as a teacher myself, it's every possible wrong foot has been placed in the wrong position, and this is not the way to deal with somebody. No matter what the girl may have done wrong, it's not the way to deal with somebody. And I'm so appalled. Now, I thought I'd leave you on an entertaining note, because I've just written to the TfL customer services. Here we are. Because I decided that it would be a good idea, given the fact that there's now going to be a strike, and I just booked various things for the 2nd of September, so right in the middle of the strike. I don't think I can debook, so I'm going to obviously have to go to London by car, which means invading the new ULEZ area, and the congestion charge is going to be hugely expensive. And I thought, right, get all that in, sign up to the TfL service so that I can so that my money can be automatically taken from my credit card. But it's not that easy. It took me 2 hours to go through their form, and when I finally got through it and it accepted the statements I was making, because it kept rejecting me, and I thought, okay, that's all now done. My credit card is in there. Everything is okay. It gave me some extraordinary identity, a series of numbers. I mean, I feel as if I should be put on the Bibby Stockholm with that series of numbers. I feel quite dehumanized. And then I thought, let me just test it. And I tried. And it didn't recognize my password. It didn't recognize my PIN. And it wanted me to choose a new password. So I thought, okay, well, we'll do that. And then it wouldn't accept any password I put in at all. It's completely useless. So I have no idea whether it's planning to take my money, whether it's not planning to take my money. So I looked up, and this extraordinary address exists. So if you really have trouble, you write to the TfL Customer Services, 9th floor, 5 Endeavour Street, London, E21JN. And I've said to them, please let me know whether I'm now on your system, and whether when I go into London on the 2nd of September, you will just simply take my money from me. Or do I live in anxiety that 3 days later you're going to fine me? It seems to me that if we have a system which allows for the transport system to go completely haywire, that trains stop, and we're then obliged to go into London by car, we still have to pay these fines. That seems extraordinary. These taxes, sorry, let's call them taxes, and there's no other way of getting in, is there really, unless we walk? Because we couldn't park outside the ULEZ zone and then take a train in because there are no trains. We couldn't even take a tube in because the tube doesn't come out that far. So we have very little choice indeed. And I think if TfL wishes to impose taxes on everybody and make life so unbelievably difficult, it should have a bureaucratic system and a computer system that actually works. It's just another example of something in our country which is bullying and knee-jerking and not actually functioning. And maybe Sadiq Khan thinks that's the way to behave. He just looks across at Westminster and thinks, well, everyone else is there doing the same thing. Why shouldn't I? I don't have to respond. Why should I respond? Why should I make sure my systems work? Nothing else works in this country.